Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Tucker Carlson courageously went to Hungary and interviewed again the fantastic Prime Minister of Hungary, Mr. Viktor Orban. And he asked Mr. Orban, Prime Minister Orban, a few tough questions, and Mr. Orban, Prime Minister, did not beat around the bushes. He spoke plain English with courage and used the right terms for the situation, for what to describe whatever happens in Ukraine. Now the question here, and I'm going to play a short clip of the interview between Carlson and Orban. Tucker asks Viktor Orban about the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2 pipelines, that we forgot about it. And he asked Orban who did it, and what would happen if, I don't know, something would, someone will destroy another pipeline that comes to Hungary through Turkey, South, and so on. And this is the answer of Orban, very, very revealing, and I believe him. So first, he's going to talk about who did it, and obviously say no, Russia. So it's going to be a few minutes, the whole exchange. Ready, set, and go.
I have to ask you about Nord Stream. So it seems very obvious that the Biden administration blew up Nord Stream, either directly or through proxies. I've never heard anyone dispute that, really. How is Western Europe, and Germany in particular, the biggest NATO member in Europe, not saying anything about this? It seemed, that just crushed the German economy. Why don't they say a word about it?
So when it has happened, we commented it as a terrorist attack.
Yes. This.
It was rejected in Germany and in the West. It was not a terrorist attack. It was something.
It was something. Euphemistic and avoiding reality. Living like ostriches with their heads in the sand.
So that's a kind of evidence of lack of sovereignty. But it's there.
Did you hear? That's evidence of lack of sovereignty coming from the Germans. I guess who's the master? Zimbabwe from across Atlantic.
About the Germans, I would not like to criticize them. What we Hungarians did immediately, we made clear that there is another pipeline, not just Nordic Stream, but there is a Southern Stream, coming gas from Russia through the Southern Corridor. Turkey, Bulgaria, Serbia, Hungary. And together with the Serbian Prime Minister, President, we did very clear that if anybody would like to do the same thing with the Southern Corridor as it was done with the Northern one, we consider it as a reason for war or terrorist attack, and we will immediately react. So don't do that. Probably you can do it with the Germans, but you can't do that with this region.
Did you hear? You can't do it to the Germans. I thought the Germans were strong, and that's not all of it. I'm going to play more, but let me comment on this one. So the other stream, there's the Nord Stream that they blew it. It was Germans. He said, there's going to be war. What were the countries? Were Turkey, was Bulgaria, and he said Serbia, and then Hungary. We're going to go to war. Against whom? And then he's going to be asked about whom. Because Tucker is going to press and say, who did you tell that you're going to go to war? To Russia? And he says, no, that means to the other guys. So very interesting. He's calling it as it is. So they are already spoken. We're going to do it. And he says they got the hint. They will not blow it. So that means, can you imagine? Look over the map. Germany is about 80 million people, 82, 80, something like that, million people. Hungary is 10 million. I think Serbia is about 10 or 12 million, or around that area. Bulgaria, I can remember, around the same, 12 million, if I remember correctly, 10 million. So that's 10. And Germany, with all its industry and power and all that, they were not dare to say anything. They didn't call it a terrorist attack. They call it a something. Something, an attack or something. The same when the Ukrainian drones or missiles attack civilian structures in, let's say, Moscow, as they did, the drones attacked, they call here in the West, there was they hit. When the Russians do the same thing, there was a terrorist attack. That's a war crime. Now, which one is it? It's the same act perpetrated by two different guys. Ones that they are supported, the other ones are not. Now, that's not justice and truth. So let's go back and see what other things Orban has to say about the issue.
That was very much
Do you think
clear.
people understand that?
I think so.
People,
You were not speaking to the Russians when you said
you don't
that.
speak about it.
On that subject.
Yes.
It's a Hungarian issue. It's not a Russian issue.
Right. But when you said,
So Orban did not understand the question here, I think, because Tucker said, you didn't warn Russia, did you? And I said, well, what about the issue? It's our issue, not Russia. And say, well, when you said that you're going to go to war, did you address that to the Russians or? And he's going to be straight, man, straight.
to the world, don't commit an act of terror against this pipeline, you weren't speaking.
It was not addressed to Moscow, no.
No, it was not. Right.
It was not addressed to Moscow. So he knows, we all know it was.
So if you were in charge of NATO, if you were, say,
Okay, this is a different issue here. So, my friends, this is how a leader, an independent leader, speaks, and with courage. I know a few that speak like this, and you figure out when they speak like this and they're not strong, they get removed from the office. When they speak like this with courage and they're not removed, that tells you the country is independent and sovereign and strong enough to be able to speak like this. You hear people like this called crazies by these guys. Why? Because they don't follow orders. And I can give you a few. I remember Mahmoud Ahmadinejad of Iran. I know, bad guy. He spoke his mind, very intelligent, but hey, and could they done anything about him? They couldn't. The only thing was that he was not allowed to participate or something in the elections. He was sidelined by the Ayatollah and so on. Now you have the crazy, the woodchuck from the North Korea, right? Kim Jong-un. You have Putin. Even Putin is more diplomatic than these guys, but he says whatever, and Lavrov, but he's not Lavrov is different a little bit. Who else speaks straight? Only crazies. If you're, let's say, a country that is not so powerful, let's say, or not independent, let's say, what's his name? Imran Khan, the former prime minister of Pakistan. He did something, he said something that he's not USA's little female dog. What did they do? No confidence vote in the parliament, just like this. They got removed, now he's arrested, and he's charged like, hey, Trump. So Pakistan, United States justice system works perfectly because that elevates, I know which one to which one, but they put them on the same level. The Pakistan, and I'm not criticizing Pakistan, that's a good job. Good job. You do exactly what the Americans are doing, I think, or close. So that's good. America always is right here that you can't even touch it. That means if you do something like Americans do, like Trump, then yeah, that's fine, you're good. So what happened to Trump and what happened to Imran Khan, I can see some similarities. So here, he tells, I'm going to translate what he says in plain English, even though that was clear enough. There was a terrorist attack on the pipelines, Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, not done by the Russians, done by others. Germany is a not sovereign state, still under occupation. These are not secrets. We know that. I'm just reiterating them. Okay? The monsters could not be unveiled or revealed that blew up that pipeline, who Tucker said, well, these guys did it through their proxies. Orban does not participate in that. He doesn't say anything about it. Well, and then what's happening next? He said, well, if you guys hit that, we're going to go to war. But we didn't talk to the Russians. We talked to the other guys, which it's clear, narrowed down who those guys are. Do you think Hungary is going to go to war with United States? No. But they will probably make a certain kind of moves with other countries involved that they will break away from European Union, from NATO. They will, do something that will really harm a little bit or a little bit more. Those guys going to jump on the other side. Remember, BRICS is getting bigger. The second club is going to undermine the plantation by the master. So here we have Orban, straight shooter in this case, courage, and he's not afraid. He's been in power almost 20 years, I think. Five terms or so, four terms. So yeah, he's and they didn't pull a Nuremberg trial on him yet. Thank you very much. And he got a problem with George Soros as well. So again, he not good. He's got a lot of problems with the leaders of this world that would like to shut him down very fast. And they can't. There's a problem. don't. And during this interview, he said that a lot of pressure was put on us to lose the last elections. A lot of money came from the United States of America to support the other side, so I can get removed. But he talks about the Hungarian nation, which Hungarian nation, well, takes an A+ from me. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.